The Pointed Hood. From Muslim persecution to American terror. The capirote began as a tool to shame Muslims during the Spanish Inquisition, but it transformed into something darker. Christian enforcers wore these hoods to anonymously supervise and whip Moriscos during religious processions. This enforcer role traveled through Spanish colonies for 400 years before the KKK adopted the identical symbol in 1915. Same hood, same purpose, anonymous power over a persecuted minority. A hidden history connecting the persecution of Muslims to the terror of African Americans. Why do tourists mistake Spanish Holy Week for the KKK? Because they're seeing the same tool of terror. The answer connects 500 years of anonymous persecution. January 2nd, 1492, Granada falls. The last Islamic kingdom in Europe surrenders. 300,000 Muslims face forced conversion. They are called Moriscos, Little Moors. The Spanish Inquisition creates a weapon, the capirote, a pointed paper cone forced onto heretics during public trials. But the capirote didn't stay a symbol of shame. It became a symbol of power. Christian penitents began wearing the hoods during religious processions, their faces hidden, their identity protected. Their job, supervise the Moriscos, guide them through Catholic Holy Week procession rituals, whip them when they needed to kneel. The hood transformed from punishment to uniform, from victim to enforcer. The pattern was set. Anonymous enforcer. Pointed white hood. Supervising a religious minority. Protected by the church. From 1560-1571, Moriscos were 82% of Inquisition cases. The hooded enforcers were everywhere, and the role was about to travel. 1539, Hernando de Soto lands in Florida with 600 men. But he doesn't just bring soldiers. He brings Spanish religious institutions. The Inquisition extends to the Americas. Holy Week processions begin in Spanish colonies, and the hooded enforcers come with them. The capirote appears throughout Spanish America, Mexico, Cuba, the Caribbean, the Philippines. Inquisition records document Muslims in New Spain from 1545-1820. Auto de fe ceremonies held in Mexico City. Holy Week processions with hooded enforcers. For 300 years, the role persists. Anonymous Christians in pointed hoods, supervising forced religious conformity. The victims change. The tool remains. The capirote taught a brutal lesson. You can enforce hierarchy over a minority. You can use violence to maintain power. You can do it anonymously. And the hood makes it sacred. This wasn't just persecution. It was a system. 1865, American Civil War ends. Slavery abolished. White supremacists need a new way to maintain power. 1915, the Ku Klux Klan rises again. They need a uniform. They choose a pointed white hood. The design, identical to the Spanish capirote. The purpose, identical too. Anonymous enforcers. Supervising a minority population. Protected by the hood. The parallels are undeniable. Same tool, same terror, different continent. The evidence trail. 1492, capirote created to shame Moriscos. 1500s, transforms into enforcer uniform. 1539, travels to Americas with De Soto. 1545, 1820, used in Spanish colonial processions. 1565, reaches Philippines. 1915, KKK adopts identical design. Not a coincidence, a transmission. The hood traveled, the role remained. Today in Spain, the capirote is worn for penance. Voluntary, religious, personal. The Spanish are not the KKK, but the KKK borrowed their tool. Because the tool worked. For 400 years, it worked. Anonymous hood. Religious justification. Minority target. When tourists confuse them, they're not wrong. The capirote's journey isn't over. It's still worn, still recognized, still misunderstood. But now you know the truth. From Granada to the American South. From Muslim persecution to African American terror. The pointed hood connected them all. Subscribe to find out how this persecution reached Salem, Massachusetts.